Shalom, aloha everybody. We're ready for the first quarter activation. I'm just setting up right now as everybody tunes in. I am tuning in from the lovely Sedona, Arizona as usual. Land of magic. So the first quarter activation, for those of you who are new to the activation portal, is all about we're 1 week into the cycle. Last week was the new moon activation, which was reflecting the truth that we are stepping into a new beginning. So it's not actually about the moon. The moon is just a shape as a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So last week was a new beginning. This week, we're 1 week into that new beginning. Let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Welcome back, everybody who's been coming here for years, every single week. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the activation portal. This is a global family. So I suggest that as you see everybody tuning in and commenting where they're tuning in from, you imagine in your mind's eye the earth, okay, the planet, and you see where everybody's tuning in from as little light towers or little bursts of light or sparks of light, lighting that part of the world up. And so as everybody's tuning in from different parts of the world, Netherlands, Tokyo, Arizona, Maine, you see those spots of the globe lighting up, Portugal lighting up, and we're just lighting up the whole planet. Canada, lighting up. Spring Hill, New Zealand. What else? Who do we got? We got the whole world. California. So we're a family of light. Activating that light here now as we're shuffling and preparing for the activation. Georgia, and then George, South Africa. Woo! Africa in the house. So we're going to pull some cards and they're going to become a map to navigate the week ahead. We have Texas in the house. We have Ontario, Canada in the house. Illinois in the house. California. And remember, while we're shuffling the cards, what we're really doing is we're saying hello to all the different aspects of self. Each card represents a different part of the mind, individual and collective. So we're waking up all of those parts. We're touching them all, connecting with all of them. And uniting them. So what is the current challenge for this week that this first quarter moon is reflecting? Cyprus in the house. Awesome. Sweden in the house. Awesome. So what is the challenge right now? For right now and the week ahead? And why are we going through this, the foundation? I'm going to go ahead and take out my Hebrew cards. We have Norway in the house. They look like this. They look like this. And they work the same way as the tarot, so I'm just shuffling them up, shuffling up the archetypes. We have Paris in the house. We got the whole world here now. Hungary in the house. Awesome. And we're just pulling the ally of the week here. And before I reveal them, I just want to say thank you in advance, archetypes, faces of the one, different perspectives of the self, for bringing us this message. So the challenge of the week. We're starting off with a major arcanum card. I just want to say it's so amazing to all be here together. Philippines in the house. We've got so many different countries in this moment. So many space holders for those countries tuning in right now. Thank you for being here. So we're starting off with a powerful card. We're starting off with a major arcanum card, one of the most powerful cards of the deck, the Tower, also known as the Lightning in ancient times. And the name of the card is really just talking about different aspects within the card. So when you consider the different names, it opens up the picture. Okay, so when we call this card the Tower, we're focusing on the structure that's failing or falling. When we call it the Lightning, it's helping us to acknowledge that force that's coming in to make that tower fall. So it's good to consider the different names as it sheds more light on the whole picture of what this card actually represents. So the Tower is where we're at right now and in the week ahead. If this is the challenge and gift, what it means is we're being given the opportunity to identify the ways in which our lives are taking a turn right now. What is the current change taking place in your life? What is the turn of events that's taking place in your life right now? And you want to think of the change, because change is always happening, but you want to think of the change that maybe was unexpected. The change that you didn't see coming a couple weeks ago, or maybe even yesterday, but it's here now. What is this turn of events that is taking place in your life, or that's about to, the one you can identify? And the Tower is asking us to look at that change and go, how can I let go of resistance to this turn of events? And even if the conscious mind thinks, I've already begun to let go, I already accept, I challenge you to accept more. I challenge you to surrender further. We are being challenged to not only surrender to it, but to also support it. Because every opportunity that we take to use our consciousness, to direct our will, to think in ways that are supportive of this shift, to speak in ways that are supportive of this shift, to behave, to take action in ways that support this shift. Every single move that we make intentionally in thought, speech, and action to support this shift is a declaration to the universe that I am ready for this, that I trust in this, that I trust in not only my path right now, but I trust in the path as it is unfolding in all moments for everyone. I trust in divine order. I trust in the One, the Most High, who is writing this whole script. On the contrary, every thought, every word, or every action that we take that is not in support, but rather is in resistance to what is unfolding right now, is telling the universe, I don't trust. I don't want this. I don't trust myself. I don't trust in law. I don't trust in natural law or cosmic law. I don't trust in divine order of all things. I don't trust that I called this experience in. So notice the difference. When we declare that we do trust, that we do have faith, and we support what is shifting right now, we align with nature and the cosmos. We open to receive guidance. We open to flow with grace and ease with what is already unfolding. Whereas when we do the opposite, and we think, speak, and behave in ways that tell the world, that tell the universe, that tells ourselves, I don't trust, what happens is we contract instead of expand. We contract. We close up. We become uncomfortable. We suffer more than what is necessary. We suffer to the extent of creating more drama, more chaos in our lives when that could be avoided. The Tower tells us it's time to stop resisting the turn of events. Yes, you might have thought things were going to go differently. Yes, you might have had expectations, but we already know that we can't hold on to those. The truth still remains that what is. What will be, will be. And we can only focus on the aspects that we have control over. That's just the truth of it. That's the be all and end all. If you try And you can try all you want. If you try to hold on to your expectations when you see they clearly aren't what's manifesting, you're setting yourself up for stress. You're setting yourself up for suffering and pain and for failure. We've got to accept when things take an unexpected turn. And know that even when they seem unexpected on the outside, there's an aspect of us that absolutely saw this coming, that saw all this coming before we even came to this place. You've got to trust not only in that aspect of you that has written the script for this lifetime, but you've got to trust in the you that is writing the script for all lifetimes, for yours, for your lifetimes to come, for everyone's lifetime, for all lives. You've got to trust in the archetype that writes the script, which on one level is your astral self, but beyond that is the Holy One who's writing the script for all of life to unfold. And so that initial feeling may be shock. Oh my God, this is not going how I planned. Things are taking a turn of events. But when you can come back to your center and remember not to let emotions control you, but you learn from them, then you be present and aware enough to learn from that feeling of shock and go, oh, this is an awakening. I'm being shocked. It doesn't have to be bad. I don't have to let it take me out of my center and overcome me. I can go, whoa, oh, okay, thank you for awakening me to a new path so that I didn't keep going in a path that would not have been the highest. Even when we think we know which path is the most high, we inevitably, in life, will be redirected here and there. And it's always in our highest interest because there's no such thing as anything else. So when you feel that initial shock, know that it's just like you're being struck by lightning, metaphorically speaking, okay? It's like the force of the Holy One, the Most High, God, Source, Allah, Hashem, whatever you want to call it, Krishna, coming in and awakening you with a shock. You weren't listening. You were building a tower that wasn't sustainable. You were giving your energies to a relationship that wasn't sustainable. You were giving your energies to a habit where you thought you were getting somewhere, but you weren't. It was only temporary. So it's time to face the music. It's time to face the facts. It's time for that tower to fall. So if you can get over that initial shock, or rather, if you could let that shock awaken you all the way through to your truest knowing, then what happens is you move from the 16 to the 17, which is the star card. Remember, the cards that are pulled are just the access point into the story. All the other cards are still present. And so we move in sequential order. So if we're starting here, what we want to hope to move to is the 16 to 17. So if you let that shock awaken you back to the truth of who you are, you reach the star, which is the light inside of you, the thing that can never be destroyed. And from that space of stillness where you remember who you are, that aftershock of the tower falling begins to calm down. You can finally see in hindsight is 2020, you can finally see why that tower had to fall. You can finally reach a space of gratitude for this turn of events that has taken place. And you see, there's no timeline for how long that needs to happen. The universe doesn't work that way. The archetypes work outside of the realm of space and time. You can get there as fast or as slow as you need to. It's about the effort you put in. It's about your ability to direct your will on this path of awakening and progress. So the focus this week is on looking at what changes are inevitable right now, which changes you know need to unfold, and supporting them along, trusting that soon you'll move from the tower to the star, you'll remember who you are, and you'll say thank you for this turn of events. Why wait? The universe doesn't put out the net until you jump, right? The universe wants to see that you trust it. So don't wait. Trust here now, this turn of events, and support it. And you supporting it in thought, speech, and action is a reflection of that inner trust that you have, which is going to get you to the star that you are, that truth inside, that much faster. Don't wait. till after. Don't drag out the process. Don't suffer to an unnecessary extent. Call in that trust here now. Come into your center. Return to the star right here, right now, because it's always here now. You don't need to wait for it to happen. Yes, these cards are a sequence, but they're all one deck right here, right now, within you. Tap into the star while the tower's still falling. And it'll hold your hand through the whole process so that it doesn't have to be such a grueling and drawn out, painful experience. Okay, so while the tower is falling, call upon the star. See that next step and let it guide you. Let it be an inspiration through this process. Allow it to motivate you to be in support of what is unfolding right now, even if yesterday or a week ago or a month ago, you would have never seen this coming. And that can be hard, and I'll tell you why. Because as humans, our energy is set in motion by our thoughts, right? So if you have an idea or an expectation, all of your energy and your will is directing all of your energy in the direction of that which you have been wanting. So sometimes it's hard when we're shocked and we realize we need to change course. It can sometimes be hard to lasso up all that energy and redirect it. Okay, but it's as hard as you make it. But if we're not conscious, if we're not intentional, that's what you can understand as the difficult process. Okay, if you're not being intentional, I'll let you know it's going to be hard because all of your energy is still moving in the other direction. But when you bring in that intentionality and that conscious awareness, you can, with much more power and much more grace, lasso that energy and redirect it. In fact, it becomes effortless. It becomes effortless when you bring in that intention and that presence. So either you can not support it and be completely unaware and allow it to be really difficult as you resist the change, but inevitably you're going to have to shift. So instead, call in that conscious awareness. Be present. Accept what is happening. Trust it's for your highest good. Trust it's all going to become very clear in time. And the quicker you are to support, the quicker you are to trust, the quicker the clarity comes in. And command that your cells be redirected to work in this other direction, to work for this new goal now. All it takes is a shift in mind and everything follows. Speak to yourself. Your cells. You are the host of your cells, just like we are all cells of God or the One, the Creator. Speak to your cells. Tell them, oh, we're going this way now. Hey, I know that I told you we were going to go that way, but now we want to go this way because it's for our highest good. And you know how the cells receive that? They go, oh, yes, we have to listen to the host because she or he knows what's best for us. And of course, those cells want to work for that holy host. They want to work for the best interest of the whole. So if you tell yourself, we're moving this way now because it's what's best for all of us, they go, okay, sure. And with readiness, willingness, and eagerness, they shift direction. They're all on board. So speak to yourself, your cells, and shift direction. That's the challenge of the week. And it's also the gift, remember. So the more you trust, the more the clarity will come in, the quicker this will all unfold. It has nothing to do with time. It's about effort, willingness, intention, presence. And why are we going through this? We have another major arcanum card. Okay. Why we're going through this is 4, the Emperor, also known as the Sovereign. We're going through this, learning how to navigate this turn of events so that we can be the Emperor, be the Sovereign, not pretend like, oh, the rug is pulled out from under me and go into victim consciousness. We don't want to go there. We want to neutralize that victim consciousness, not only within the individual mind, but within the collective. It's time to be strong. It's time to be a sovereign society, a sovereign, united society. And we do that by becoming sovereign within each of our individual selves, within each of our minds and hearts. Look at this, okay? The theme of the Sovereign and the Emperor is all about stability, sustainability. The Tower is about a lack of that. Giving energy to the wrong things, creating a structure that's bound to fall. But check this out. 4 is form, is structure, is a solid foundation. 4, think 4 legs of a table, holding up the table, holding up the square, right? So you see there's a lot of like, there's like the 4 points here, the ram's heads. Okay, you could see like structure. And then the tower. So whereas this card is all about the structure, the form falling, this card is about creating a form, a structure that is solid and sustainable. So we're going through this so that we can learn about what not to do, what wasn't working for us, so that we can redirect our energies to build a more solid foundation, a sovereign foundation. One that is built upon a blueprint of light, of love, of law, of truth, which is eternal. Because then, from that space of sovereignty and stability and security and sustainability, whatever we create from that space will last forever. Because then it becomes not about the temporary material circumstances. It becomes a matter of what's going on behind the scenes, what we're building energetically, which is what that physical manifestation will no doubt represent. But it will be about building relationships, building even structures, building anything that is going to be a vessel for us to do spiritual work, for us to multiply the light, which is the only thing that lasts forever. For example, you might have been building, a business that wasn't going to really be producing long-term effects for future generations. You were building a business that was going to bring just money, maybe temporary success. And it wasn't very fulfilling. So ultimately, that's going to fall apart. Now it's time to maybe rebuild that, build a new business that, of course, the building in which you will work or the materials you buy to support the business doesn't matter as much as what the business itself as a whole is going to support for the world and the future generations to come. That will last forever. This is a super powerful reading, 2 major arcanum cards. So this week, we're being asked to create a new foundation, one that is sovereign, secure, stable, sustainable. And we can only do that if we get rid of, let fall away that which is not resonant with that. Okay, so whatever you're doing, for example, in your life that is a reflection of vice and not virtue, it's time to do away with it, especially if it's hard. If you're thinking things, saying things, or doing things that are a poor habit, that are reflecting vice and not virtue, that's bringing maybe only temporary satisfaction, it's time to stop doing those things, especially when it's hard. When you want to lie, when you want to be dishonest, when everything in you just wants to be impatient. You want to be angry. You want to be unsupportive. You want to be jealous. Those are the moments when you want to look within and shift. Especially when it's hard. The alchemy doesn't happen when it's easy. When it's difficult, it challenges us to use everything we've got to stay present, call in, draw in that light of the Creator, our greatest strength, our truest power, the greatest force. To then use that power to redirect the energy, to transmute it into light, to go from vice to virtue. So whatever we've been building from a space of vice, it's time to let it go, even if you're scared, especially if you're scared. Know that the gift awaits you just on the other side. You will be rewarded, especially when you think you won't, especially when you're scared, when you instead transmute that fear into trust. We will as one be rewarded. The universe rewards that trust. In your hardest moment, the gift is just on the other side, but all it takes is your conscious participation. All it takes is one action in the light. But it requires action. That's why we're in these bodies. That's why we're having this human experience. It's not good enough to be the light. You already are that, babe. You've always been that light, and you always will be. That part's done forever. Thank God. Thank goodness. That's what we are forever. But we're here to participate in this experience. We're here to use our free will to choose to embody and express and actualize that light. That truest light of which we really are, our truest nature. So if you've been building a business, for example, and you're scared to let it go because you don't have any money, honey, you're never going to keep that money. That abundance isn't even yours. It's a lie. You're living in a delusion. You're delusional. So better get it over with now. Otherwise, it's only going to get harder. You're playing yourself. You're going to be living in a lie. And what's going to happen is you're going to incur those karmic points. You're going to cultivate a big pot of karma. You know what I'm saying? So better get it over with now. Especially if it's difficult, it means you've been at it for a while, maybe even lifetimes. Who knows? Who cares? The point is, the more difficult it is, the more pressure there is to transform that vice into virtue, the quicker you better get to it. The faster you better return to your center, to love, to light, to truth, to source, to trust in the divine perfection of all things. Again, the harder it is, the faster you better run back to yourself, to truth. Embody that, be that, express it, against all odds, against all adversity. Return to yourself. Whatever you've been building from that space is going to fall. So take action now. It's time to create a solid foundation. Even if it feels like starting back at square one, there's no going backwards. We're only moving ahead. In the realm of archetypes, remember, we're working outside of time and space. There's no such thing as going back. We're always moving forward. There's only growth in mind and in spirit. So don't be afraid like you're having to give anything up. The only thing you can lose is ego. The only thing you can lose is temporary anyway. So who cares? The only thing that's real, the only thing that lasts forever, the only thing that's worthy of your awareness, your energy, your time is light, is virtue. So if you've been afraid to start over, reassure yourself. There's no such thing. There's only moving ahead. I can never lose that which was, those things that were important. I can never lose that which is real and true. It travels with me forever beyond this body. So I don't have to fear anything. I take all the goodness with me. I only leave behind that which was never mine anyway. Because all I am, all I ever will be, is light. So reassure yourself. Let go of that fear. Move forward. Start anew. Knowing that there's never starting over. It's okay. There's nothing to lose. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And the ally of the week is the Lamed. The Hebrew letter Lamed. And it's the center letter of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet. Right in the middle. And it's the tallest one, stands above the rest because of this piece right here. And it represents the heart. It's the first letter of the Hebrew word lev, which is heart. The heart above all. The heart guides the way. The archetypal message of the Lamed is the heart guides the way. The heart is the shepherd. The heart guides your direction toward the Most High. And it's in the center. And what's in the center? Balance. There's a sacred balance in the center of your heart. And when you tune into that balance, it guides the way, whether you should go this way or that. It's a matter of temperance, and the heart is the container for that balance. Okay? You are the one housing the two, the mother, father, masculine and feminine, the two polar forces within. They're in your heart. There's a delicate balance. And when you can tune into that balance, it always lets you know which way to go, whether I should be active or more receptive right now, whether I should go left or I should go right, whether I should choose this or I should choose that. It's in your center. Your center knows where the balance lies. And this is the thing, you guys, everything in life is made up of the forces of polarity in this life, in this material world, right? Everything is a crystallization as a manifestation of the forces of polarity vibrating in opposition. When there's vibration, there's life. But what happens when those forces of polarity, masculine, feminine, active, receptive, meet in the middle? Think of it like an 8, right? So you have a 4 force. You have a 4 force. The force of the masculine, the force of the feminine. They make 8. So you could see it like an infinity symbol. This is masculine, this is feminine. They're vibrating in opposite. When they meet at the center, they're neutralized. Balance. But when they meet in that space and they're neutralized, there's stillness, which means death, but beyond that, eternal life. And that little point in the center that represents that eternal life lives within your center, in your heart, Lamed. And that awareness of not only eternity, our eternal nature, because that's what we really are, eternal, immortal, but that knowing of our eternal balance, that there's always a balance. When we walk with that knowing, it reassures us, it relaxes us, it helps us to open up to and be receptive to what is in each moment. Supporting the shifting, supporting the changes. Change is the only constant. And when we know the laws of eternal balance, right? Like the laws of nature and the laws of the cosmos, natural and universal law. Look it up, Google it. Hermetic law, Google it. When we know those laws, right? Those laws which are an extension of that balance at the center. We have this eternal balance. Those laws are a product of that balance. They're like an open book of what that balance is and how to maintain it. When we follow those laws, we, like the emperor, become sovereign. And we maintain a balance which becomes the foundation, the stable and sustainable foundation for us to build upon. So follow your heart, tune into the center where there is eternal balance. Know the laws of that balance and build all things upon that foundation. And you, the greater you, all of your descendants yet to come, all of them, because we are one, will no doubt prosper. And you will activate a sense of purpose, a sense of truth, light, and life within you that can't be compared to any other feeling. And then you will feel fulfilled. And then we'll come out of our center, and it'll be our work to get back there again and again and again. But know that it's okay, because that center point of eternal balance is always there. Whether this human version of you forgets and falters, you can rest assured. The heart is the keeper. The heart is the ark of the covenant, which cannot be altered, untouchable. It's like a vacuum, a tiny little point within you of eternal balance that behaves as a vortex or a vacuum that cannot be affected. So tune in to that space and it will guide your way. Okay? The Lamed, just one more thing, is also connected to, because it's the 12th letter of the Aleph-Bet, it's connected to the tarot card, the Hanged Man, also known as the Martyr. It's all about sacrifice, the sacrificial heart. The heart knows what needs to fall, what needs to be given up to return to a place of sovereignty, to then be able to grow in a way that's sustainable. A way that is guided by the light and the truth and the love that exists within you eternally. Thank you guys for being present for this message. The video is now going to, as always, be loaded to YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic. So if you want to share this video, please go ahead on any of these platforms. Share it with your favorite groups. Share it with somebody you think could use this message. Share it with those who you think know this message deep in their hearts and can help to activate it further for the one and all. And we do this every week. Okay, I also have a private group. I have 2 private groups on Facebook. One of them is called the Archetypal Alliance. Okay, so feel free to follow that. In that group, everybody just kind of gathers in between the activations to elaborate on this message or to talk about their own readings they do, to get advice or to share inspiration. My other group is called Shabbat Crew. And you can find those both here at Royal Path Tarot on Facebook. They're on this page. And Shabbat Crew, we talk about Jewish mysticism. I give the Kabbalistic interpretation of the Torah story every week. We talk about the ritual of Shabbat and how it's for anyone and how it can help carry us into a new reality, into a new earth. We also sometimes do the ancient melody recitation of the candle lighting together, the candle lighting prayer in Hebrew. And so that'll be tomorrow. So please join us. And then also, there's a new thing on here. You can send stars. So if you really appreciate this video and you want to contribute in some way, you can send stars. Also, I am on Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. If anybody wants to make a contribution, just reach out to me. I rarely ask for that, but I know that so many of you have been asking me and looking for a way to give back because these messages have helped you in some way. So if you feel called to do so, please reach out. Or I would so appreciate if you enjoyed this message or if you've been enjoying the messages over the past 5 years and you want to write me a review. I would love it because that to me is so valuable, is when you share your reviews and share how this work has changed your life in profound ways. Other people read those reviews and they open their hearts and their minds to that same assistance, and then we all grow together. So if you can, please write a review on my page, Royal Path Tarot on Facebook. I also have a website if you want to share with your family and friends. It's a way that they can contact me for private sessions. I absolutely do one-on-one readings, so reach out to book with me. You can go to royalpathtarot.com, and there are ways to contact me, as well as all of my links to my social media. So thank you so much, you guys, for bringing in this message. I am working on 3 books to publish soon. Very excited about that. And also, of course, I already have a full tarot guide for anybody who wants to learn more about how to do these readings yourself. The first book, The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within, talks about the major arcanum cards. It gives you the non-manipulated Hebrew letter correlation, which you almost can't find anywhere these days in any modern guides. And then it gives you some questions to ask with each of the cards. Royal Path 2 is a journey into the minor arcanum of the tarot. It gets into, again, the non-manipulated descriptions of the elemental suits, which you, again, can't find in any modern tarot guides. There are many manipulations. And my writings teach you how not only to not be afraid of those manipulations, but to understand them, work with them, and go beyond them to the greater truths and initiations that lie hidden within each card. So reach out if you want a copy. I'm happy to send it to you signed and with a special bookmark in there as a little gift. So just private message me, or you can email me at info@royalpathtarot.com, or just go to the website, royalpathtarot.com, and the links are all there to get in touch. Yay, love you guys. Have an awesome weekend ahead. Happy first quarter. I know you got this. You're going to do the work to help knock that tower down as an expression of your trust in what's to come. Something much better, much greater, that will have an everlasting effect to go beyond your lifetime to the lifetimes of all of your descendants, all of our descendants. Follow your heart. I'll meet you there. Shalom.